Hello? Are we live? Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. Right away, once again, we had some issues with the streaming service that we were using before, so we are pre-recording this stream to go up probably tomorrow, which will be Monday, November 3rd, right?
Yeah.
3rd?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So, but anyways, all that aside, I am Cam of Cam and Focus, and with me, as always, is Mr. Andrew. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm honestly excited to talk about this movie. It's been a while since we've had a single movie episode that I've seen it beforehand. I know the
Hmm.
topic episode, last one we did John Wick, I've seen all those, so it's nice to have one that I've seen before.
Yeah, yeah. One that you didn't have to go out of your way to buy the Blu-ray for and wait for it to get to you, and it ships to your door
Exactly.
about 4 hours before the stream starts. And you're just like,
Like,
oh God!
and it's a 3.5 hour movie. Ah.
Yeah. It's like, wait! I got like 2 minutes of credits left.
Exactly.
And also with us tonight, Mr. Spencer, who was kind enough to host this stream for us. Certainly appreciate you, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. Good. Been I don't know. Do I want to say a busy Saturday? Or not Saturday, Jesus, Sunday. It's been a
It must have been
weekend full
busy. You're
of
losing
stuff.
track of the days.
I've been doing a bit, for a weekend it's been filled with a bunch of fun, just a bunch of other plans and stuff
Yeah.
and so that's part of it, but I was happy to be able to squeeze in watching the movie today. So
I certainly appreciate you taking the time. I know it's definitely a bit of a heavy watch. It's like 2.5 hours.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so certainly appreciate that. If anybody who's watching, if you missed last week's stream, we talked about Whiplash, one of my all-time favorite
So good.
movies. We had a lot of fun breaking it down. It was a really great discussion. Today we're doing another one of my favorites, which is The Last Samurai. Um, this movie stars Tom Cruise, and
Which
regardless
is
of
why
how
we
you
watched,
feel,
of course.
yeah, regardless of how you feel about him as a person, you can't deny that the man's a hell of an actor. And I'm so excited to get into this. But before we do, let's kind of go around the clock here. Andrew, I understand that this was the first time you'd watched it in a while. Um,
Yes, yeah. I haven't watched this in probably 2 or 3 years at this point.
mhm.
Um, so there's definitely a lot of stuff that I've forgotten, but this is feels very similar to like not just with plot, but just the feel vibe of the movie, like Dances with Wolves,
Sure.
which is a movie I love. I love the story with the journey of following Tom Cruise. You start out and you're kind of like, why should I like this guy? Why should I like this character? What's there to like? Obviously he struggles with PTSD in a way, but you're kind of like, I'm not connecting with him. And then as the movie goes on, you start to, spend more time with him. You're like, oh, this guy, you know, he's got, you
Those
start to
layers
care
get
for
peeled
stuff like
away. Yeah.
exactly. And of course, it's always fun learning about samurai are cool. Like
Yeah.
it's just cool seeing samurai and learning about that culture and I almost said where you're from, and I'm like, "You're Korean," so
Well, that is
Wow.
that's a hell of an HR call right there, sir.
exactly, that's why I didn't say it, this is off record. So
Uh,
yeah, really good movie.
Supposed to say off the record before, not after. Remember? Anyway,
We'll edit it out,
Yeah, it's gonna be like you say a word and then a cut into like the middle of another sentence, and people are gonna be like, "Wait a minute, what just happened?"
It's like we try to do a one shot, but we do the cuts and it doesn't quite add up.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
All right. And Mr. Spencer, was this a movie you had seen before? I understand you watched it today. So, what were your thoughts on it?
It was my first time watching it. It's a movie that I've been aware of for a very long time that I've wanted to watch. I
Yeah.
remember, I don't know, there's one time because I was trying to think today how long specifically that I was wanting to watch this movie because it's been on my watch list for a long time, and I want to say around freshman year of high school, which was I don't want to do the math on how long ago that was when I'm in my fourth year of college right now. So that's a bit ago. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That I've wanted to watch, and so uh, yeah, it's one of those things. I'm glad to finally have checked it out. I did. I remember during the final like battle scene, I've seen one of the scenes from that before, because I took a Japanese class in high school for a couple of years, and
Sure.
I believe is in that freshman year when we watched a scene from this movie. I think closer to the end of the school year when we're going over like a brief history topic over Japan and stuff, and so and he broke down how like I don't remember the specifics, but like how like part of it's legit and part of it like kind of isn't, so but yeah, it was something that like I'm just glad to finally watch, and I definitely enjoyed it. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, this movie had, it suffers from the drawback. Andrew, you had mentioned the plot feels very familiar. You have your for lack of a better word, colonizer type of character who
Mhm.
is the enemy of the native people, gets taken in by the native people, grows to love them, and then fights against the colonizers. We've seen this a
Oh,
hundred times.
Yeah,
But besides Dances with Wolves, the first one that comes to mind is Avatar.
of course.
Um,
Yeah.
I,
that yeah,
yeah,
that was the biggest complaint about that movie when it came out. Everybody was praising the special effects, the 3D, how vibrant the world was. But underneath all that was everybody saying, "Okay, but I've seen this movie before."
right.
Exactly.
And this movie kind of sidesteps a few of those tropes, but it does feel like familiar territory. What really carries this movie is the screenplay, the script, and the performances.
Yes.
Um, well, and the music too. Hans Zimmer is just
So good.
so good.
Mhm.
Um, but you have Tom Cruise as Nathan Algren, who is he's a soldier. He fought against the Native Americans in very brutal fashion, as we see in flashbacks and stuff. And this haunts him. The things that he did to people haunt him, and he's struggling with PTSD. He's struggling with alcoholism. He's struggling with suicidal tendencies. And like you said, Andrew, we have a hard time kind of latching onto this character, but as it goes on and those layers get peeled away, and you start to see not just his trauma, but how his trauma has contributed to the kind of person he is and why he is the way he is. Because there's a difference between showing what a character goes through and showing why. Oh no, Andrew's gone.
What?
Uh, I'll wait for him to come back.
He's still here for me.
Really? I don't see him.
I would say refresh and come back in.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, you're
Oh,
all
okay.
good.
I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, I disappeared." Okay.
Well, what I was saying before you popped out was that there's a difference between showing what happened to somebody versus showing how what happened affects them.
100%.
And I think that this character is probably one of my favorite characters of that entire decade.
Yeah.
I love him so much. I think it was great. Edward Zwick's direction is fantastic. Again, Hans Zimmer's score is amazing. Tom Cruise, he's a great performer. He's also really good with the physicality of the character. You see him doing the work, and it's also great. I've gushed
Yeah.
about that for
I
quite a bit.
I know this movie came out in '03, but it's one of those where you go, "How does Tom Cruise not have an Oscar?" Like, I know that's not the end all be all for a great actor, but it's like,
Right.
come on. But no, I agree. One thing that I really like that they do with his character, and I was gonna touch on the trope part of stuff is the you're gonna have tropes in every movie, right?
Sure.
What matters is how well you do it. This movie does it so well that it doesn't feel like a trope. Um, and I really like that because he spends like I think close to or just over a year total with the Japanese before they take him back to the main village, I think, or it's close to a year, 6 months, a year, something like that. And you see how he picks up their traditions and their
Mhm.
characteristics and stuff to the point where, like, a lot of times Japanese people they don't say a lot, they don't talk a lot, or the samurai specifically don't always talk a lot. And you'll see, like, when he gets around the Americans or just in general, when they're trying to like get that edge with him or ask him something and trying to poke the bear, he just stays silent,
Right.
and I just thought that was really neat.
Well, you see those little characteristics coming through as well in his body language too. And this was something that I noticed actually for the first time while rewatching this movie earlier today. So whenever he gets taken back to Tokyo after being with the samurai for so long, when he gets taken back to Tokyo and he has that meeting with Omura, which is
Hmm.
that Japanese business guy,
Yeah.
mustache twirling kind of guy. Um, but they have they have their little back and forth, and whenever he goes to leave, he almost bows, and he catches himself.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of goes and walks out, and it kind of hammers in that idea that he's been so receptive to the culture and the people that he's been around that he's adopted their traditions so seamlessly that
Hmm.
he now has to consciously keep himself from doing that.
Hmm. Yeah,
The,
I picked up on that too. So.
yeah, the story is so much the story of like well, especially the first half of this movie. And the second half, it gets into different territory, but it's so much like the story of Shogun, and that's what I was always going back to. Such a classic story that is, classic novel that's been adapted not once but twice into different miniseries, and that's really what this movie did for the first half of it to me a lot. And you're just talking about him adapting the culture and all that, adopting it, I should say,
Yeah.
and that's so much of what Shogun is about. And so I found it interesting that I don't know. For me, the first half of this movie, we were talking about, oh, this is movies that you've seen before. I was like, yeah, I've already seen this done before, and you know, multiple times because I've seen both. Uh, I think I've watched all the older one. I've watched most of the older one and most of the new one. I haven't finished either, but yeah, no, this is a one that it
Yeah.
is interesting to see that story told in the big screen.
Yeah, and you have you have the two halves of this movie. The first half is him uh being brought into this culture, and the second half is him fighting for it. And
Hmm.
and the big transitioning point is whenever they go back to Tokyo,
Right.
and Katsumoto is taken into prison and he has to break him out. And how passionately he fights for it is really it, it's convincing. Yeah, you have a movie like Avatar where your main character fights for the people that he was an enemy of, but the reason he does it is because of a woman he loves.
Hmm.
He and I mean, yeah, you see him, leap across floating rocks, and you see him connect with the animals and stuff like that, and that's cool and all, but you're the majority of time spent with that character to build up his love for the people is it revolves around his love for the woman. And in my opinion, that doesn't make for an interesting reason as to why somebody would betray their own people.
Mhm.
Whereas with this movie, yeah, he loves the woman, but their romance isn't really expounded upon until almost
Hmm.
the very end of the movie. But prior to that, it's and you hear it in his journal entries. He's fascinated by these people who wake up every day and devote every hour of every day to the perfection of everything they do. How disciplined they
Hmm.
are, how spiritual they are, and it's not the woman, it's everybody, and that makes for a much more convincing turnaround.
Yeah, I loved just because of how long it had been since I'd seen the movie, how well written it is. And I know you
Mhm.
touched on that a bit, Cam, but like the parts where he's narrating or just talk and just what they show, like yeah, they will literally do a discipline until they perfect it, and they won't stop until they
Yeah.
perfect it, you know? Um, and also the conversations that he has with, is it Katsumoto or Katsumoto?
Katsumoto, yeah.
Katsumoto. Those are great because they're short, but they're effective in
Yes.
what they're saying. They're only saying what needs to be said.
Yeah.
There's not all this additional filler exposition stuff. Oh, the samurai been around. Da, 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 da," You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
unnecessary.
If it feels like two men getting to know each other, rather
Mhm.
than two men talking about what the story is. And
Exactly.
the writing of this movie is so airtight. I really appreciate how much the script focuses on character rather than plot.
Mhm.
And when you're once he's taken to the samurai village, we're there. We don't bounce back and forth between, this is the story going on in the village and this is the story
Mhm.
going on over with the Americans and the people that they're training. It's like no, we're here. And when he goes back, it's like he's going back to a whole new world, because when he goes back, the soldiers are well trained. That their military is now very strong, and it's like that feels realistic because we're with this character and we discover things as the character discovers them, and that's just such a great narrative tool to use.
And I'm blanking on the one Japanese actor's name because I've seen him in a lot of things. The one that he fights with like the sticks
Uh,
kind of
uh,
early
uh,
on in the movie.
that is Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yes.
Yes.
What a great actor too, and not only just in this movie. But I love the scene where he's fighting, the two guys are like betting on it. But that's slowly when he starts to kind of gain the respect of people in the village because he then goes kind of toe to toe with like their top
Yeah.
samurai. And you see this shift where then he's more included in things and people he's less treated like an unwelcome house guest and more as like, okay, now you're sort of part of the village in a way.
Yeah.
um, so now he knows how quickly he can lose that, but he slowly starts to build it up with each thing that he does.
Yes. Now when he's, I'll kind of take it back to a little bit earlier in the movie. So when we first meet him, he's drunk. He's a stage performer who romanticizes these stories of his exploits as a soldier. And this is where we meet Billy Connolly as Sergeant Gant. And
Mhm.
I have to say, for as little as he was in the movie, I loved him. He was amazing. You know what? No, when Nathan grabs the gun and just starts shooting,
Yes.
kind of into the crowd. Again, Billy Connolly's just standing there with a big old smile on his face,
Mhm.
and the movie does a lot to establish a good rapport with the two of them. Whenever he meets him outside of the theater, the first thing Nathan says is, "You're alive." It's like, oh,
Mhm.
boom, good, instant connection right there. We don't need the exposition of who this guy is, how he knows him, blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Wow, I haven't seen you since we fought in that battle back in da 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 da.
Yes, yes, and there's a lot of attention to detail given with this movie. There's a lot of blink and you miss it moments. And Andrew,
Mhm.
I'm curious for both of you whether or not you caught this. Whenever Billy Connolly takes him to the restaurant to meet with the colonel and the Japanese businessmen there to
Mhm.
discuss, going over there. When Tom Cruise sits down, he signals the waiter and he says whiskey. Well, when the waiter brings him the whiskey, he
Mhm.
grabs another glass and drinks it as the waiter puts it down. And,
Oh, okay.
and so it's like, yeah, this guy's a freaking drunk. He just grabbed someone else's drink.
I
He
did not
doesn't even
catch
care.
that. That's
Oh yeah,
funny.
That's funny.
Gonna have to go back and look at that
And
again.
then he's offered whiskey later in the movie and says no.
oh, what is this
What
character growth? What?
Movies? I can't talk about it anymore. Just
Well,
Mad
we're already
Men.
done. Laters, everybody.
Yeah, right, exactly. And
Uh,
and he gets brought over to Japan, and they start training the soldiers. And this is where some misinterpretations of the movie come into play. Now, I know that art and stories are subjective, but there is a certain amount of objectivity when it comes to established context. Now, the first scene that I see gets misinterpreted all the freaking time is whenever the colonel comes out and says Katsumoto attacked this village, railroad village, you have to go and fight him now. And Tom Cruise says they're not ready. He has the guy, try to shoot him to prove that they're not ready.
mhm.
But as is kind of built up throughout the first half of the movie, he has a death wish. He was hoping that he was actually going to get shot right then and there. You know what?
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
What and what when the Japanese soul conscript misses him, one, he doesn't even flinch, and two, he looks genuinely like sad.
Yeah, he's at an all-time low.
And then kind of in the same vein, there's the scene whenever he's in the village and he has the little scuffle, like sword scuffle with the kid. Hiroyuki Sanada comes out and tells him to, drop the sword and whatnot, and they get into it. He gets the absolute hell beaten out of him. And people see him, continuing to get back up and keep fighting. It's like, oh, he's courageous. You can't take his dignity away. He's, whatever. He's so brave. It's like, no, this guy has a death wish. He's trying to get Hiroyuki Sanada to kill him.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I honestly hadn't thought of it that way, but it does make perfect sense and fits with his character when we first see him in the movie. I mean, he's so down that he's like, yeah, you want to, if he, oh no, he shot me, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm a prisoner of war. I've got nothing to lose. I'm in enemy territory. Just kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to the music during that scene, it's not heroic, triumphant music. I mean, that is like genuinely sad music that's booming through the speakers as he's continuing to get back up.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great scene. It further establishes him as a character who is suicidal with a death wish and whatnot, and it also shows just how far apart these two characters are as far as their skills. I mean, yeah, you can make the argument that Tom Cruise is so weak from the battle. He was gravely injured during that and whatnot, but I mean, the sword just keeps on getting knocked out of his hand. He's doing a one-handed saber style sword fighting, and meanwhile Hideyuki Sanada is using the two-handed katana style sword fighting, and it's like, okay, well, one is definitely a bit more powerful than the other.
Yeah. Well, one thing I really liked about this movie, and this just tells you how good of an actor Cruise is. When you're watching it, at least for me, I didn't see like Tom Cruise watching the movie. I saw Nathan Algren.
Yeah,
he gets so invested in the character that because sometimes you see a famous actor in a movie and it kind of takes me out. I'm like, oh, I just see them. But you watch, I know it's Tom Cruise, but it's like you're not thinking, oh, that's Tom Cruise. Like, his commitment to the role,
Well, you see, that's funny you say that, because my thought when seeing Tom Cruise in this is that, he can act and not just be an action star. Because when I think Tom Cruise, I think like Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
exactly.
Where
like he's not right. Like he's not a bad actor by any means, but he's one of those I tend to think of being more of an action star that doesn't typically, show great acting. Although he's not bad by any means. Like just in my opinion, right? And
right.
It's I don't know. It's like, when I think Tom Cruise, I think of him more of that. Like I kind of viewed him more of that in some ways than what's that movie you all watched a few weeks ago? That he was War of the Worlds. That's it. Yeah. And so, but like this movie stood out to me. Like it's one of the few movies that I've seen of Tom Cruise there. It like reminds me, oh, he does a good job of actually acting.
Watch Collateral.
Right.
I see.
And
That's
Collateral.
what I'm watch. I need to watch that. But like
you haven't seen Collateral. Oh no!
Terrible.
I'm still disappointed I missed that week because I watched it and I couldn't make it. And I was like, oh well.
That's okay. We'll just have to do Collateral 2.0.
Yeah. Well, that stream will disappear.
With a snap of my fingers, all my past streams will disappear.
So you see what'll happen, Andrew, is we'll do our own special show called Focus and Cam.
It's not copyright.
Focus on Cam. It's just like you guys peering through my window.
We're narrating. We're stalking Cam. We just narrate his life, and there he is, writing his book.
And here we have the wild Asian in his natural habitat,
eating his noodles with a chopstick.
Say I gotta have the noodles. Come on.
Now he's playing chopstick swords with his daughter.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise really does give a fantastic performance here, and one moment that really sells it for me is well, whenever he's first taken to the village and he's very sick, he's kind of going in and out of consciousness. He starts going through alcohol withdrawals. And if you don't know what that does to you, it causes fever, it causes seizures, it causes hallucinations. It literally can kill you just withdrawing from alcohol. And when he lays there and hallucinates that there's a dead Native American laying down next to him, he screams, just "Sake!" And it's just the way he screams throughout that scene. It feels so genuine, like it literally tugs at my heartstrings to hear him, cry out like that, because it feels so true to life. Because I've seen alcohol withdrawals before. I know what it does to people, and I watch that and I'm like, this guy is really like in pain right now. And I don't see acting, I see pain. And that's just such a great testament to his outstanding performance as this character.
Yeah.
Now, and as we go on, we get into our first conversation with Nathan and Katsumoto, and it establishes who they are so brilliantly. Tom Cruise is on the defensive, whereas Katsumoto is more curious than anything. And again, I'm going to bring it kind of back to the body language here. Whenever Katsumoto steps down from that step up into the temple where he was praying at, if you notice, Tom Cruise is the first one to start trying to circle around him. Like it's two guys about to go head to head. He's the first one to start moving, and Katsumoto just kind of stops and looks at him like, what are you doing?
Well, I think if you're, Nathan, he's a prisoner of war, right? So he's probably going, why haven't you killed me yet? What do you want me for? And that's why he's like, you want me to hear for English? Like, he's probably thinking, am I gonna have to fight this dude? Like, assert dominance in some way. Katsumoto's more like English, and so kind of threw him off a bit.
Yeah. I have introduced myself. You have introduced yourself. This is a very good conversation.
And he still doesn't introduce himself after that either, and not for another conversation or two.
No, he introduced himself there because what was it leading up to it? He said, many of our ways seem strange to you, but the same is true of yours. For example, not to introduce yourself is considered extremely rude, even among enemies. And then Nathan just goes, Nathan Algren.
Okay.
And Katsumoto goes, I am honored to meet you. I have enjoyed our conversation in English.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this movie like 20 freaking times. It's I haven't reached the point yet where I can recite it line by line, but I'm getting there.
Working on it.
Yeah. The Fellowship of the Ring is a movie that I can recite line for freaking line.
I'm almost there.
Theatrical or extended?
Was that
theatrical or extended for Fellowship?
You better say extended.
The theatrical. I've only seen the extended edition maybe 3 or so times.
I think I've only seen it 3. Well, yeah. Anyway, go on. I was going to continue on.
You don't want to know how many times I've seen it. I'll just say that.
Andrew's just like, Lord of the Rings, what the hell is that?
What's that?
Yeah. No, genuinely, I don't really know what that is. So,
is it like Crawl?
Oh, then I bet I'd love it. Well, you better not tell me there's like a 10-minute montage of a group of Fellowship just walking through rocks.
There kind of is.
They're just walking and walking.
It's
the plot of the first movie,
Howard Shore. Howard Shore makes the scenes epic when you have dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
walking in slow motion.
Yeah. Hey, you know what motivates me is when I see that Gimli ran for 2 straight days and no breaks. I can make that mile walk. Keep breathing.
We dwarves are natural sprinters.
We got to do a topic episode on Middle Earth at some point.
These are my top 10 reasons why J.R.R. Tolkien was a hack.
They're calling him a racist communist.
What?
Make it into a original.
I believe it.
That's one of the only books I ever read.
Is that right?
The only books I ever read.
Nice. I have the deluxe
Or that
edition.
and, which rug room in the closet? I can't remember.
Oh, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. I have the deluxe edition of Lord of the Rings, so it's all 3 books in one.
Nice.
It's like this, but it comes with maps.
There's like 8 books.
I remember I had originally bought the Lord of the Rings books after having watched the movies, and I sat down and I started reading Lord of Fellowship of the Ring. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
We're still in the Shire, and it's been 150 pages.
Yeah, it's like wait a minute. What do you mean Gandalf was gone for 50
17
years?
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. Not to go down this rabbit hole, but Frodo was 33 when Gandalf leaves, and he
Yeah.
just had his 50th birthday when Gandalf returns.
Yeah,
Because he and Bilbo had the same birthdays, which makes Frodo also the same age that Bilbo was in The Hobbit.
yeah. Wow, Elijah Wood ages really well.
I know. I need to know a secret. Well, funny thing is, I don't even think he's 50 yet, because I think he was my age when.
No,
when he
he's
was,
he's in his early 40s now, I think,
44,
because
okay.
he was I think 19 when they started filming Fellowship of the
Yeah.
Ring, and Sean Astin I think was 10 years older than he was.
Yeah.
So Sean Astin's like in his mid to late 50s.
Yeah, they're gonna be. They just announced next year at Fan Expo that they're gonna have the Hobbits there
Nice.
for the 25th anniversary. So that's gonna be awesome.
Elijah Wood's going to be in Nashville in January, so
Nice.
I'll be making a trip out to say howdy do.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Where's the ring?
Yeah. Now,
All right, Last Samurai.
yeah.
Oh, that's what we're here for? We're not here to talk about Middle Earth? Damn it. Anyway.
Darn it.
I had like this many notes ready for you.
I was about to say, I got my my Lord of the Rings book somewhere over there. I don't know where.
But I
But
thought
yeah.
we were talking about Star Trek.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Now, so as Nathan and Katsumoto get to know each other. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Well, we see, how Nathan starts to get more included in the village, Andrew, like you said, and this all leads up to a ninja attack. Now, I will say, at first, this comes completely out of nowhere.
Yes.
We're like, wait a minute, what the hell is happening now?
How they even find the village?
Right, but you also got to think that we're continuing to experience this completely from Nathan's perspective. Of course, it comes as a surprise to us too, because it comes as a surprise to everybody else. And it's not until after the attack is over when Nathan and Katsumoto have the next conversation that Nathan deduces that it was Omura, the Japanese businessman that sent them out. Now, how he reaches this conclusion is a little iffy, in my opinion. It's one of the few script hiccups that I think is present in the movie. It doesn't take me out of it by any means, but it's like, oh well, he just kind of deduced that. That's okay. That's cool.
Maybe he kind of tried to find a common denominator of evidence and was like, I know this guy doesn't like me.
Right.
The village is very remote, so not a lot of people probably even know it's there.
Yeah.
Maybe he was, I don't know.
I don't know. But I will say that whole battle scene is fantastic. The music was really good. The way it was shot was super well done. Especially with most of it taking place inside the house. And I don't know why, but I get tingles every single time. Well, once the last ninja is cut down, and all the samurai just go all at once. It's like, oh wow, they're such a good team.
Go Power Samurai.
Yeah, right, exactly. and it's just such a it's such a great scene, and it further establishes the camaraderie between Nathan and Katsumoto, because you know that they have that moment at the end where they're both fighting together, and then once the last ninja's cut down, they're both just kind of standing there staring at each other, and
Mhm.
it's just the relationship that's built up between these two people is, it feels so organic, it feels so natural, like nothing about it feels forced at all, and every stepping stone that takes us through this story, it feels like such a natural progression, and it's like I literally I cannot praise the writing of this movie enough.
Well, I think that honestly, that like for me, the movie flies by. Like I know it's right at about 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
without credits, but because there's like a natural flow to it and everything, there's nothing that takes me out of it. Makes me go, oh well, still an hour left. Crap. Like there's
God
not
damn
like
it.
that. Darn.
Not like the
Yeah.
Emu War when we were checking our watches like 10
Oh,
minutes into it.
it's like, oh man, it's only been 30 seconds since I last checked. Crap.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, 30 seconds. It's been like 4 hours.
actually, there's a similarity between the last battle of the last samurai and the Emu War
Oh
because
God. Let's
the
hear it.
I was just gonna say they don't have as many men, less than half of what I expected. All right, and in the Emu War, there's not that many soldiers either, and yet they find a way to lose but also win at the same time.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I,
you know that we've hit an incredible low when we're comparing The Last Samurai to Emu War
I was trying to
and
see if it would
finding
bring
similarities between these two movies.
honestly, I was going for a bit and it didn't work, so I don't think they're similar at all. I never wanna that's a move that's on my
I
that's on
definitely
my never gonna watch
remember. I
again.
definitely remember the emos in this Last Samurai movie. You know, they were just there.
Yeah,
You
they were
know,
kind of in the background there.
yeah,
They were
you
the
know,
extras.
yeah. You remember
Yeah.
we had all the horses riding out in the battle, and then
Yeah.
there was like the two emus in the back. Don't you
No,
remember?
actually, when they filmed
It's
it
samurai riding emus.
well, you know what's funny? When they filmed it, they actually rode on emus, but then they did CGI horses,
Right.
because they didn't have the
Oh,
budget
is
for
that
horses.
why the horses look like they're doing this?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you imagine Trevor? Like, oh, I'd love to see that now,
I,
like, just
I hate that we did that movie because now it's like inescapable. See what happens?
yeah.
See what
That
happens when you got
that
me
is
talking
on
about
my
that?
that's on my I'm never gonna watch it again, but it's on my always recommended to people because you have to experience that movie at least once,
I
you know?
I guess.
See, I haven't watched it. I need to still.
And you already know the
No,
story,
you don't.
basically. You don't need to watch it.
You don't need to watch the Emu War.
I think I should after all this talk about it.
Too bad there wasn't, like, a queen samurai in this, though, because
and see, since Nathan Algren is the character that was taken by the samurai, that would mean that would make him the emu boy from Emu
Oh.
War. I
Oh my
hate you so much.
You know, one thing I do
Oh.
like, just I was looking at the DVD cover here, is the them not pursuing the romance fully between him and Taka,
Yeah.
because when I was is it Taka, right? That's her
Yes.
name?
Yes.
Okay. So towards the end of the movie, right, when she's like, come here, she's like, I want you to wear this armor. And I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, there's some stuff between them, but like we don't need necessarily that to like whatever. And I was almost worried that, oh, is this where it's going? But then when it was more of a respect of a passing on of like, I'm forgiving you. You've apologized. I'm forgiving you for
Yeah.
what happened with my husband. Because I think she even said earlier in the movie when he apologized, she was like, he did his duty, you did your duty. Unfortunate circumstances, and that I
Yeah.
think that's kind of her passage of forgiveness or moving on, at
Yeah.
least in a way, which
Yeah.
was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yes. And that armor suiting up scene is is probably one of the most romantic scenes ever put to film. I'm just gonna say it
Yeah.
because because you're right, their romance wasn't pursued, but it was still there without
Hmm.
without feeling gratuitous or
Yeah,
romanticized or cinematic.
exactly.
I guess would be the right word for it. Yes, they share a kiss. Yes, while she's putting the robes and stuff on him, you can see that she's kind of like stroking his back and stuff. And
Yeah.
then at the end of it, she lays her head on his back.
Hmm.
But it's like all that is conveyed, one, without words,
Hmm.
two, yeah, I mean, just the way that they look at each other, you can
Hmm.
see that there's something there. But I remember back when I had first when I first rewatched this movie, because the first time that I watched it I was like 13.
Hmm.
So at that time I was like, ooh, samurai battles, oh yeah, oh, I don't
Yeah,
care about this stuff in between. um
exactly.
the first time the first time that I rewatched it, whenever I bought the movie on Blu-ray, which was back in I think 2016 or 17. As I'm getting up to that scene, I'm like, oh well, this is where they share a long, passionate kiss, and both their
Yeah.
heads kind of like scoot out of frame, and the music intensifies. It's meant to imply that they're about to have sex or something, but no, they kept it as just she continues to get him dressed, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
that is so tasteful.
Yeah, no, and it works really well the way it's done, and it fits the movie because there was like if we had had a scene like that before, then maybe okay, having a full on romance scene would kind of make sense. But if they just did that, would have felt out of left field because you're like,
Yeah,
where did that come from? Like that's not, she didn't kiss him and go good luck, which I'm glad because I would have been like, all right.
yeah,
But yeah, no, it's just, and that's what I love so much about this movie is there's not really a scene where I was like, "Oh, they coulda cut that out, or they coulda cut out this moment." It all fits together.
yeah.
Um, I am curious though, is there like a historical factor to this?
Yes.
Like, okay, so
Um,
I
so
was wondering about that.
so yeah, this movie isn't so much based on a true story as much as it is based on a person. But if I remember
Okay.
correctly, the person that this movie was inspired by, um, it wasn't an American soldier. It was a French soldier, I
Looks
believe.
like Jules Burnett.
That sounds right.
Possibly.
I was looking at some stuff earlier. The biggest thing about this movie that is historically incorrect, because there's a bunch of things from what I was just
Of
looking at.
course.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the biggest thing is that this follows Japanese history roughly 20 years after they opened up their borders after being closed off for hundreds of years. And
Yeah.
so this whole plot of them seeking the military advisors for how to, grow them, grow, um, Americans never helped. From what I was just reading
Mhm.
here is I had a list of them a moment ago. I don't know where it is, but point is Americans were never involved, and of course, with this being an American movie, we kind of rewrote history in a way of this movie. And I assume I don't know what the big problems were because I know a bunch of people have problems with
Mhm.
like how historically incorrect a movie is. This obviously being like a huge thing of where Americans are a huge part of something that they never in history had a part of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
says it adds oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead.
Well, I've just this article I found says that it adds a lot of context. It chronicles a real life Japanese rebellion from the 19th century, but adds a lot of fiction to several historical events and people. So I was right. Tom Cruise, Nathan Algren is loosely based on a real French army officer named Jules Burnett. In 1866, Burnett was sent to Japan to train military forces and ultimately fought in the Boshin War against and sorry after refusing orders to return home. Um, and then it goes on to talk about the shogun-centric world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can understand why some people would take issue with historical inaccuracy, but this movie isn't striving to be a historical
No.
piece.
It's not
I
like
mean,
it starts out by saying based on true story,
yeah,
you know?
it's historical fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what it is.
I'm
yeah.
And when I'm watching a movie like this, unless I know for a fact that it's based on something that it's like concretely
Mhm.
based on something, then I'm looking for some historical accuracy. Maybe like movies
right.
pertaining to World War II or something like that. Well, with this movie, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just
Yeah.
looking for a good story.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize how common it is for maybe not necessarily to this level, but a lot of movies will take a story or whether it's real life or fake or whatever and loosely base a story on that. So
Sure.
they may be like, "Oh, I like that character in that movie or this real life person. I'm going to base my character off of that."
Yeah.
So Nathan Algren obviously is not named Jules Burnett, but he is inspired by or loosely based on the real life person because obviously Nathan's American and not French.
Yeah.
They're not, so no, I mean I didn't know what the quote unquote inaccuracies were going into it, but even
Mhm,
if I read more on it and learn more, it's not gonna be like, oh, well, this movie sucks now. Like that's just
mhm.
like anyway, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things with it, like down to the little details or to the bigger details that I'm reading here, which is interesting, But I feel like any sort of historical movie,
Mhm.
unless it's something like Oppenheimer, can have a billion things they could list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so,
Well, like when I was growing up, I watched a lot of like sports movies, right? And there's a lot that are loosely based on a true story. So
Yeah.
they'll follow the people by name, but then they make up like the conversations and the stories for the sake of making it cinematic. Because sometimes stuff doesn't work in a movie. It can happen in real life, even when you're adapting a book that may be based on real life. Sometimes it doesn't play well on screen. And so you have to make changes and stuff.
right.
And frankly, it could just be boring too. Like they could have, they got to spice things up a
Yeah.
bit. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing with film as a medium, because first and foremost, it has to be entertaining.
mhm.
Right.
And real life isn't always entertaining. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just that's just the long and short of it. Like,
Mhm.
well, for example, in Heat, you had Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, who had the conversation in that cafe together.
Oh, so good.
It's so
So
freaking
good.
good. And while that conversation between those two characters was based on a real conversation between a cop and a robber, I'll say,
Mhm.
um, just two guys talking and shooting the shit, that's not entertaining. I mean, yeah, some banter is nice and all, but you can't make a scene out of that. You have to create something that again is first and foremost entertaining. And whenever that scene involves nothing but character development, there's a very fine line between realism and cinema,
Mhm.
and you have to find that happy medium, and a movie like that does it perfectly, and I think that The Last
I
Samurai does that perfectly as well.
That's exactly what I was gonna say because this very much is feels like an epic.
Yeah.
That type of movie where it just everything's cinematic and yet it's also in a weird way, even though this is set in the late 1800s, it's relatable. And I think that's another thing that helps it is any of us could very easily be Nathan. Nothing about his situation is unique to the 1800s.
Right.
As personally, as far, I mean, obviously, I don't know how popular samurai are anymore, if that's even still
Well,
a
well,
I mean,
samurai.
individual people might be, but
Yeah,
most
so
of them
samurai don't really exist anymore, but their
yeah,
teachings are still taught.
yeah. So, I think that and honestly, I think sometimes we can even see a bit of ourselves in Nathan. You might have a moment where you're like, you're just so down that you're like, shoot me kind of thing. Like it
Yeah.
so I think that's as you start to learn more about his character and everything, very relatable. And so
Yeah. And there's always there's a right way and a wrong way to convey character drama as it pertains to a specific character. Um, and you're absolutely right, Andrew. A lot of his struggles feel very relatable, because
Mhm,
you can see a bit of yourself in them, whether you're a samurai or not. And
mhm,
well, a good example that I like to bring up when I'm talking about character drama with people, and about how a character can kind of break the mold and come out of the archetype type of character is, I don't know if you've watched the show Arcane. It's
yes.
Such a
it,
good
it's
show.
it's on Netflix. I have
Mhm,
season 1 on Blu-ray. I'll be getting season 2 on
nice.
Blu-ray too. But season 1 specifically, you have the character of Vi, and all of the struggles that she goes through. I mean, it's very easy to create a character like this and have her story focus on, oh well, she's good at fighting because she's a girl and she had to work extra hard to be there and whatnot. But no, she's good at fighting because she is. All of her struggles throughout the first season, they're not girl struggles, they're human struggles. She loses everything. Her father figure dies, her sister disappears. She has to learn how to be rough and tough to survive in her
Mhm.
environment. That's not a girl thing, that's a human thing. Just like with Nathan Algren, the things that he's going through. I mean, yes, you can make the argument of, well, he has soldier problems because he suffers PTSD from the things that he did and blah blah blah. But if you kind of dial it back a bit, he just suffers from PTSD. Completely take out the fact that it's because he's a soldier. He suffers from PTSD.
Mhm.
And a person, soldier or not, can look at that and find something of themselves in that struggle. And I think that's what makes this character so just so endearing.
No, I agree because I mean, I know people in my life that struggle with PTSD, and it's a very real thing. I mean, fortunately, there's medication for it nowadays, but even then, that only helps so much.
Yeah, yeah,
That doesn't take it away.
yeah,
But obviously back then that wasn't even an option. It was just you just dealt with it, and
yeah. I mean,
you have your good
back then
moments
it
and your bad
was,
moments. You
yeah.
know.
I mean, but back then, yeah, your medication was either alcohol or a bullet,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to kill himself, so he basically almost drank himself to death. All
Oh,
good?
dogs are up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, the dog peed in my room. Um, no, I thought I saw something. Maybe it was a
It,
ninja.
it's the ghost of Emu Warpast.
Oh God. I don't want to even know the present or the future with that. It can stay in the past. Um, but
That's what I'll get you for Christmas. I'll get you a little emu keychain. You
oh,
can
I thought
keep
you
it
were gonna
with you
say buy the collector's
always.
edition on Blu-ray.
Oh God. Yeah. That movie has become like a pox on our lives.
It's a good inside joke
Yeah.
because no one else is gonna even get it. Like, unfortunately, it's an inside joke, is what I should say.
Yeah. Daddy?
Um, one thing I love a lot, both is strategy. I love reading strategy books, playing strategy games, and when you get to the final battle, if
Yeah.
we want to get to that point, I
Sure.
don't want to
Yeah.
skip too far ahead, but they know that they only have 500 men, right? I think is what they said,
Yeah.
opposed to several thousand. They said like 3 or 4 regiments, which is several thousand. I don't know an exact, but a lot.
Sure.
They're outnumbered by a lot. So they have the idea of we only have swords, they have guns. Let's get it to where they come up close where we can use swords. So they don't, I loved how they played coy. So they didn't have all 500 men right up ready to fight on that first line, and then they
Yeah.
slowly drag them in with the fire, and then they get to the point where they're able to trap them in. And yes, a lot of their men get taken out, but they have a shot. They have
Yeah.
a chance, and I just love that. You know.
Yeah, and that brings it back to the comment that Nathan made about the samurai whenever whenever the colonel was trying to get them to send them off before they were ready.
Mhm.
He says the samurai don't have a single rifle; they're savages with bows and arrows. But Nathan, who has been researching them, says whose sole occupation for the last 1,000 years has been war.
Yeah.
They're not just warriors. They're strategists.
Mhm.
They know what they're doing, and it's nice to see these tactics come into play.
Mhm.
And man, what an epic final battle! I mean, it
Yeah.
was great.
Mhm.
and it sucked seeing characters that I love getting wiped out, but that's the unfortunate thing about war. Nobody has plot
Yeah.
armor.
Right.
No, and that's one of those. It's like it's gonna happen kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
great to see it doesn't play it like completely safe either. There's a bunch of things that we watch, and it's like, yeah, they make it seem like great tragedy, but no one actually dies other than
Yeah.
Bob that appeared in 2 scenes. And you're like, oh, you're supposed to
Well-
warn him, but
Funny you bring that up because there was a Bob. Nathan called the guy.
Yeah, I was
Bob.
gonna say there was a Bob who appeared in a couple of scenes and he died. God damn it!
And boy, did that almost hit the hardest because Bob never even said a word.
Yeah, the only line he has in the movie is him calling out Nathan's name before
Yeah.
jumping in front of the bullet.
That's right. Yeah,
It's like, well, damn it.
we just got to know. But no, that's kind of when you're gonna do an emotional scene like that, and you're trying to show the horror of it all. If all the main characters survive, it's like the Family Guy joke. It's we have all the main characters, we're not gonna die.
Yeah,
Then it kind of takes that emotional way, and you're kind of like, okay,
yeah,
this shows the horror of it all. That you go into war, the chance you could die, especially like this, where they're all on the front line.
yeah. Yeah, and at the end of the final battle, Katsumoto and all the other samurai are shot down by the I was about to say chain gun, but that's not what that is. Gatling gun. That's what it is. Yeah. It got the Gatling gun.
Yeah.
And as Katsumoto is laying on the ground dying, he has Nathan help him commit seppuku. Seppuku or harakiri. I know that they're similar ideas, but they are different in context. I'm not sure what the difference is.
What's that second one called?
Well, one is seppuku and the other is harakiri. It's HARIKIRI. They're both ritualistic suicide. I just don't know the context under which each one is performed.
And see, that's something that he explains to Nathan because he. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Looks like Harakiri is a form of seppuku.
Oh, okay.
Because he, when he beheads the captain,
The general,
Nathan,
yeah.
general, and Nathan's like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "That's what he wanted. It was an honor to do so." And so then that get to this point, Nathan understands that now, and helps.
Yeah.
him.
And whenever he does help Katsumoto stab himself, Katsumoto looks at the cherry blossom tree behind him, and he calls back to his moment where he's looking at his own cherry blossom tree, and he says, "A man could go his entire life searching for a perfect blossom, and it wouldn't be a wasted life."
Mhm.
And then as he's looking at that tree, he says, "They're all perfect." And I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh, it's my heart.
I almost took that at first as him ending off his poem, because he mentioned that he couldn't find the last line, but that makes way more sense than what I was thinking. So,
Well, I mean, in this case, I'm sure that both ideas could be right. Because his poem is something that's not really talked about much in the movie. It's only brought up twice.
mhm.
But I could see that. I mean, because he's looking at the cherry blossom tree, contemplating his poem when he first talks about it. So I could see that.
Mhm.
And finally, Nathan survives, and he presents Katsumoto's sword to the Emperor, and finally gets him to change his mind about having the U.S. supply arms to Japan. And it's nice to see the emperor finally get a backbone, because
I know.
he spends the second half of the movie basically as a little chicken shit. And
I know. I'm like, dude, you pick whatever side is benefits you.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it was good to finally have that get some closure. And at the end, we see Nathan return to the village, and it's just like, oh yay, happy, roll credits, but all the samurai are dead.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But I did like that I liked the narrating at the end by his friend, the photographer guy.
Yeah.
I've seen I blank on his name. I mean, I've seen him in a lot of stuff before. But I thought that was cool. And Nathan gave him all his journals and notes to write as a book. Or the president of the United States, Nathan, gave him all of his notes.
Do you know who this is? This is the president of the United States. Yeah.
See, that was great back then because not everyone had like pictures and stuff to be
Yeah.
like, that's the president, you know,
The
like
Japanese wouldn't know.
yeah.
Right.
You just have to be believable, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but it
It's
was a good ending. I liked it.
it was yeah, it was a very good ending. And I'm glad that they just kind of ended it there as opposed to seeing him go into the village and embrace Taka and everybody crowds
Yeah.
around him and whatnot. Freeze frame, roll credits.
Nathan. They all
Yeah.
jump up, you know. Yeah. No, it was
If
good
it-
because it leaves it open for interpretation on
Yeah.
what he does next. And yeah. I think we all know what he does next, but it leaves it open for interpretation.
It's just like, well, finally, that's been building up for long enough. I mean, he only spent 8 months in that village. How about that?
Yeah.
I actually every now and then I think about how long, like over the course of time, this story takes place because he
Mhm.
arrives in Japan in July of that year, and he gets taken into their village. I think in 3 months or so, like 2 or 3 months, and then he spends like the next 6 months there.
Yeah, I'm looking up here. That doesn't give me an exact thing. Yeah, I mean, I think what you said is pretty close to what it actually is. So
Yeah, because he doesn't go back to Tokyo until like halfway through spring.
yeah.
So yeah, he's there for a hot minute.
Hmm.
And I just got to say, this movie would not be nearly as good as it is without Hans Zimmer's score.
Oh, 100%.
So good.
It's a
It
character
is
in itself.
incredible. Yes, it
Mhm.
really is. And it- every song conveys mood so well. You know, you have certain movies where the score is present just to be present. You know, okay, well, I have to have a triumphant song here, I have to have an action song here, I have to have a sad song here. But the way that Hans Zimmer can use different motifs throughout different pieces of music is just incredible. Yeah, because when it comes to especially film score, a good motif or a leitmotif, as you know, if you want to get a bit more specific, um, r- used across different pieces can really help to convey different moods of the same idea, and it's just it's so good what that guy does. I don't know how he does it. I mean, I'm positive he must be a freaking alien or something because
I
no
was
human is that good.
No, I mean he's up there with like John Williams, where if you recorded paint drying and then had Hans Zimmer score it, you'd be sitting there going like, I mean, like I
Yeah.
think of like if time was playing and you're sitting there watching the paint dry, you start to be like, it's drying, you know, like. But it's true. It's like they both make it to where they're like I said, the soundtrack is like a character. You know, the score, it feels like it's there when it's necessary, and it slowly builds up as the scene builds up, and it's yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I used to buy physical copies of movie soundtracks, and I really wish that I had gotten The Last Samurai because I've had a lot. I've had Gladiator, I've had Harry Potter, I've had Revenge of the Sith, I have had I had a Yu-Gi-Oh soundtrack, which was weird. Actually, funny story though. You guys are too young for this because I think I think this started going around back when I was like 10. But Burger King was doing a Yu-Gi-Oh promotion where if you bought a Burger King Happy Meal, you got a Yu-Gi-Oh card and a music CD that had like 3 songs on it. And
Those
know,
were the days.
back when fast
I
food
know.
actually gave a crap about the toys that they gave kids.
Yeah, and it wasn't cheap stuff either. Now it's
Yeah.
like this.
Terrible.
Not that I buy Happy Meals, but I mean, like, I can remember getting
okay to
toys. I'm
say
like,
you
this is
do.
nice. I don't want to. We got to make that off record.
Yeah, nowadays you go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal, and your toy is like a box with a cat face on it.
I know. It's like,
I
what the heck?
remember like like when both me and Andrew were little, having like there'd be like all sorts of cool toys even back then. Obviously, what you were just talking about, Cam, was like a lot more than even
Yeah,
what
you
me
got
and
way
Andrew
more,
had.
yeah.
But like we still had cool stuff. Like I
They
remember
have like sets, and
like
be
I remember
collect all
when
the
Burger
toys.
like I remember when
Yeah.
Burger King still did things. Where now I don't think they
Well,
do at
at
all.
least you get a crown now whenever you eat. So
Yeah. I mean, but Burger King had Dragon Ball Z toys, for God's sake. I mean,
I
And get this,
remember
those
it didn't
things were
add to the
dope.
cost. And guess what? The meals then were not like expensive like they are now. They didn't add to the now. If you wanted like a good toy like that, you'd have to buy the more expensive version of the meal.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, way back then, Subway had $5 footlongs.
and they were actually footlongs.
Nowadays, a Subway sandwich is like $9-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the cheaperish options too, I feel like, as well.
Yeah.
I know.
Subway's motto or slogan is "Eat fresh," and I used to work in a warehouse that would regularly get Subway products in. All their shit comes in frozen.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
It's not fresh.
I not too long ago, there's a Subway connected to my theater, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I haven't had Subway in years. It was like biting into it was like, "Ugh," like
Oh,
the
their bread
the
sucks.
bread was awful. I was like, this tastes like a yoga mat. Like, not that I know what that tastes like, but it was like rubber. Like it was like, "Ugh," like every bite was like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do that gesture again, but it just was like,
Quick, clip that 1 second right there.
but no, I was just like, I'm not gonna spend $10 again to eat there when I can go to Chick-fil-A and get something way better.
Now, do you guys have you don't have Publix out there, do you? The grocery store Publix?
No,
No?
I don't even know. No.
So
We have good old HEB, sir.
Oh God, I haven't been to HEB in probably 30 years.
I think a Publix is coming near me, but not yet.
So when it does, get yourself a Publix sub. You will never go back to Subway. Not
that's
Subway, not Quiznos, not Firehouse subs, nothing. Publix subs are the bomb.
I really like Jersey Mike subs. That's
Mine is I don't know if you'll remember this, Cam, and not that it's exclusive to the area, but Thundercloud subs is where I go a lot for subs.
I never had that before. I don't know that I've ever heard of it.
Me neither.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I don't know if it's. I'm sure it's a country like nation chain, but it's good. That's where we get occasionally if we're like. I mean, there's not one like in my area, so if we're driving and it's in an area where there is one, we're like, oh, let's go.
Gotcha.
Like it's. I mean, it's exactly the same setup as like a Subway, where it's like you want this, you want this, you want this. Oh, there's a hair. You want this, you want this, you want this. But no, it's good. But again, we don't have it a whole lot, so.
You really are making me hungry. I don't like that.
All right.
How did we even get on that?
I don't know. It's a good act.
Go back and listen.
We were talking about soundtracks, and I mentioned the Yu-Gi-Oh soundtrack, and then I started talking about the Burger King promotion. And then
that makes me think of those Burger King commercials where they have like the jingle of like Whopper, 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 Whopper.
I never heard that. The only Burger King jingle that I know of is "Have It Your Way."
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Andrew.
There's I've watched too much TV, I guess. They usually play. Well, to be fair, they usually play after like during a sports game when your team's getting their butts kicked. Then you have that jingle playing, and it's just like, I'm not going to Burger King now.
What, is that like the fast food version of Pac-Man? Whopper, 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 Whopper.
I never thought about it that way, but that's true. Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Final thoughts.
any final thoughts on The Last Samurai? Anything that we missed?
I don't know if they heard that.
I heard something.
Oh, they
Who
did.
is it?
You're out.
Good night, sugar.
Good night, Mom.
Hey, Mom, that was random. All right.
But man,
Mom, I'm doing my show.
but Mom, I'm trying to talk about cool things with the guys.
Yeah, but see, at least you know my mom's real, and I'm not just making that up. Like,
Why would I think you're making up your mom? What do you Pat? What do you? What's the guy's name from Psycho? Something Bates. Norman Bates.
Norman Bates.
Yeah.
It was a joke I made with Debbie the other day about her son because I was like, we never see him, but she'll just like put it
Oh,
randomly.
yes.
Because David and she were talking about serial killer shows and stuff. I was like, this son of yours, we never actually see him, you know.
Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, my son's right over here, and it's just like a mannequin sitting in a chair.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right.
This has been
Any-
such a random episode.
Yes, but we did pretty well to keep it on track for the first, 3/4 of this.
For the first
So-
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, this is a great movie. I'm glad that I rewatched it because there was a lot that I forgot. And
Yeah.
honestly, the time that I watched it, I didn't look at movies the way I do now, where like I appreciate things more and I understand how things are made and what it takes to make them.
Yes.
And so I'm watching it through a different lens, not quite 35 millimeter, but good enough that I can understand and appreciate things more, and definitely going to try to rewatch this more often, not wait 3 or 4 years in between. So very good.
Watch it on widescreen, damn it.
I know. I realized that, like I said, thrift store buy. When I saw this full screen, I was like, what am I missing? What am I not seeing?
Yeah, it's okay. If I sat through 4.5 hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League in 4:3 aspect ratio, I can do it. I can do it now.
Oh, this is more like 16:9. I don't know. Yeah, very, very good movie, and like I said, glad that I rewatched it. So
Yeah. I typically watch it at least 2 or 3 times a year. It's a regular for me. It's up there with Collateral. It's up there with Blade Runner 2049. It's up there with Sicario. A lot of my favorites. So
I haven't seen any of those. What? I didn't say that.
how did you get on this show again?
Oh, Spencer, that hurts.
You know what's funny is I own at least 2 of those movies somewhere.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't watch Sicario till this year, so
You know,
And
Ken's gonna, like,
you're a better man now for it.
Cam is gonna
Exactly.
shoot me for this. I've seen the Sicario sequel, but not the first one.
Really? Okay, so
I haven't seen the sequel, so we cancel each other.
now the sequel isn't bad, but it's not directed by Denis Villeneuve, and it shows.
Right.
I like it well enough, but the first one will always be so
Right.
superior. in
You know
my
what?
eyes.
It
It's
was
got
one
a
of
similar
those-
scene with like Heat.
It was one of those things where I watched it and I didn't realize it was a sequel till after I looked it up. After having watched it.
You know,
Because I
the main
remember-
title's the Sicario 2, Return of the
Well, like it's
Sicario.
Sicario and then it's like some subtitle. It doesn't
That's
like
true,
say
yeah,
2 at
yeah.
all on it. And
That's
so I was
true.
just like, yeah, this
Yeah.
movie looks cool. And it's one of those movies, if I remember right, I bought during like a Black Friday like deal that Walmart. You know, Walmart
Well-
used to be good with them, you know,
Yeah.
and not so much anymore.
But I don't think Emily Blunt's in it, right? So not everyone
not.
from the so
No, the only returning characters are Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin.
okay. And I think when I was looking at it, it sounds like a pretty standalone story for the most part.
Yes and no. The story as it happens is directly influenced by the story of the first one. However,
Oh, well, never mind.
it's not in a way to where you have to have seen the first one to watch the second one, because it goes off in its own direction. It uses the context in the first one to kind of set up to kind of set up the events. But once it gets going, then it's like it's its own
Okay.
thing. So.
Nice.
All right. Well, I don't see a timer on here, so I don't know how long we've been going for.
Hour
But
15, pretty much.
holy schmoly! Okay, so
I'll turn into
uh,
a super hacker and cut off about 10 minutes of that.
yeah, right, exactly. It's like, okay, we're gonna cut off 10 minutes, but it's like the first 10 minutes of the stream, so it starts like mid sentence as we're talking about like the second act of the movie.
Yeah, we'll cut off half the time of us actually talking about the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
What we'll do is we'll make this completely clickbait, where it's The Last Samurai, but we cut out every part where we talk about The Last Samurai, and it's just all the random bits.
No, see, what you could do is bring it right back to trying to watch it on YouTube. It's just a still image of us, and you're talking about what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So right here, you see this part where I'm going like this? I'm talking about Subway, you know.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for today's episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. Thank you, fellas, for joining me, and Spencer, thank you again very much for hosting this stream. It'll be up on the channel on Monday, the 3rd of November, which I don't really know why I'm saying that, because it's going to be up at that time anyway. So who cares?
So
But
it's like, well, yeah, I'm watching it, you know.
yeah, it's not like we're live. I mean, whatever. But yes, tune in next week. Hopefully we have the issues with the other streaming service sorted out, so that way we are able to actually go live and, you know, broadcast through the channel itself. Not quite sure what we're talking about yet. We'll discuss that once we get off stream here. But yes, thank you very much. Anybody have any shameless plugs before we clock out?
Yeah, you can catch me over on the Feast of Fandoms YouTube channel. The night that this goes up, we'll be talking about Jessica Jones Season 2, Episode 5 for MCU Mondays at 9:30 Eastern. Thursday nights on the Cantina Happy Hour, Cam and I will join David and Debbie to discuss the Clone Wars. It's an arc, I think.
Oh, we're not doing Visions yet.
Oh, I completely forgot that's out. Yeah, we're doing Star Wars Visions.
Ooh,
Volume
I'm
3.
gonna have to tune into that.
Yes.
I watch all of them. I'm excited.
Yeah, I need to watch them.
You
I
haven't
haven't
watched
gotten
them
around
yet?
to it yet myself.
Yeah.
I'm getting
But
there.
I like Visions. Like, I know it's not
No,
for everyone,
yeah.
but no, I'm
Yeah,
looking
no,
forward
I
to it, 'cause
really
there's
like the season. Like
I was gonna say
it's
there's
one of those
the
shows that
Ronin
might.
sequel.
It's one of those things that might get better and better. That being said, I
Yeah.
was disappointed in one episode, but I don't want to say anything before.
Well, and I know that there's gonna be a spin-off series to it with one of the, I think it's the
Ninth
Ninth
Jedi.
Jedi.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm looking
excited
forward to
for
that.
that.
That's right. So Visions. Yeah. So
This
now
new
we'll-
episode has me more excited for that.
They've been doing a lot of that. I think they just announced that a second novel centered on the Ronin was coming out.
Are they?
Nice. And I just bought the one that's out. not
Yeah,
too long
I
ago.
have that one on
And-
audiobook. It's
nice.
Did you like it?
It's not my favorite Star Wars book, but it's good.
It was
pretty
hard.
good.
It was hard
Yeah.
for me to get through. Not gonna lie. But,
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Yeah. Yes, I say. Let us know what you think, Andrew.
Oh, damn it! I hate it now.
Well, why'd I buy it? I didn't get a receipt. Jeez. So anyway, all right. So Visions. That's right. I'm so used to saying Clone Wars that I forgot Visions was out. So
It's
All
very
right. Mr. Spencer, any shameless plugs for tonight?
Check out on Friday I released the Batman Long Halloween audio like a read through that we did had a full
Yes,
cast
good
of people
stuff.
and that was awesome. And so I want everybody to check that out, as I haven't spent a long time editing something in a long time, because there's a bunch of like takes and stuff that we did as we were doing it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was a really fun project to put together, and I was happy, and I'm looking forward to improving on it as we go. But you know, you got to begin somewhere, and The Long Halloween is my favorite Batman story, and our whole goal with this is that we want to have out each episode on each holiday. So with last Friday being Halloween, that was the beginning of it, and we're going to be trying to put out episode 2 on Thanksgiving. And yeah, I want people to check those out. Also, me and Andrew do a show called Before the Cape, where we talk about Smallville. So we just talked about Smallville episodes 2 and 3 last night, which that was pretty good. And so next week we'll be talking about the next 2 episodes, 4 and 5, called X-Ray and then Cool. So make sure to check all those out.
All right. Well, that'll do it for tonight's episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. Thank you, fellas, very much for joining me to discuss The Last Samurai. I had a lot of fun with that. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm still sitting at 70 subscribers right now, and I did I say that it was 70 subs that I would do a stream in character as Neil Breen?
I don't remember.
Yes.
I don't remember.
We'll
It,
go with
it
yes.
was.
We'll go
was.
with yes.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to start planning that.
Well, first you have to get a wig.
I have to get a wig. I have to get a fake computer.
Just get the vest that he wears in Double Down. Like that could just be your outfit. That jean jacket vest.
Yeah,
Or the ripped shirt.
I'll surround myself with stacks of tuna fish cans.
Or the rip shirt from I Am Here. Now. I should have waited till next week, and the first word I say is now.
Yeah, right.
And people are gonna be like, what the heck?
Oh man. All right. Well, that's
I'm
it.
not ready for this. I can't wait any longer. Or I can't wait any longer. I'm not
Which
ready
is
for
it?
this. It's a magical day.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's it. Have a good week, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.